potential recruit what their hometown mission would be like. Because National Guard has that active duty Title 10 mission, but they have their state mission as well. So we want to get them excited about, hey, if you are a recruit coming out of the Miami area, which we built our game for, if there's a hurricane and natural disaster in Miami, this is what you're going to be doing for your hometown, that pride thing. It can also be used, tailored for Tampa, Northwest, Destin, Orlando, for those recruitment purposes. Additionally, the same game can be used, give it to the National Guard to train for actual Title 32 natural disaster missions. So it's a twofold game that we put together. I'm going to turn over to Nathan for the technical part of it.
So Windows is scanning this as a virus real quick, which is super convenient. All right, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about some of the structure behind the game and what we attempted to accomplish. So in particular, we had a handful of 3D artists and only a couple of devs, a good ratio for a game jam, right? One of the things that we wanted to do with this recruitment aspect of this game is to ensure that we could rapidly, with a pipeline that we made during the game jam, produce neighborhoods or segments of a city. And so the 3D artists came up with a structure and a pipeline to do that rapidly in a couple of days, something that could be extendable for anywhere, so that when you play the game, you're like, oh, I know that Taco Bell. Oh, there's that right turn that I always scratch my wheel on. So they came up with that, laid down Google Maps, and then said, all right, here's our process to do this. That is a repeatable process that they had. Some other things that here we go, perfect. It opened up 15 times. All right, we'll plug it in. Yeah. And here's the game. Do we have sound? All right, so the name of our game is called Gaining Ground. The idea here is that you are in Miami, Florida, and if you go ahead and click the begin button. If you're in Miami, Florida, meteorologists have just confirmed that Hurricane Thornton will storm surge southern Miami overnight. You are a part of the National Guard, and it is your responsibility to take care of 4 primary objectives: emergency landing pad construction, fuel transport, evac, and personnel sortie, or moving soldiers from place to place. These are weighted, and so emergency helipad creation is the top weight, fuel supply right below that, that's the reality, right? Evac operation and personnel sortie can't happen if you don't have those. The idea here is that this is the night before, so you have to make some planning decisions to ensure that your gameplay is the maximum utilization of the resources that you believe you can put there. So what's going to happen is when he clicks Mount Up Soldier, it's going to show us a damage path, a potential damage path of where the hurricane's going through. And that damage path is going to have some base options nearby where you can place a base. There's risk placing a base closer to the damage path, but benefit because the time it takes for you to send out a H-60 helicopter to take care of a task, if it's going to be close to the damage, you're going to want to be able to send it out that quick. So, however, if he does this, and click the thing, so this planning phase overnight, if he does this and selects a damage path, a base that's near one of these damage paths, there's potential that the resources or helicopters that he was going to have sent over there, damaged, gone. So he starts out with 6 helicopters, he might end up with 2, he might end up with 4, right? He might end up with none. So he's got 3 of those, he's selected his 3 bases, he's got a couple more seconds before the gameplay starts. The hurricane occurs, and then you'll see on his screen wayfinders. These wayfinders are all of those things you've got to do as the National Guard, right? You've got to get those emergency landing pad construction set up. You've got to get that fuel supply set up. He's got helicopters that are idle. So in the midst of this, he has to say, helicopter, go here. Helicopter, perform this task. And he's got to determine, based on the distance between his bases he's set up and where he needs to go, what it's going to take, as well as the fact that if you do an evac operation, that's back and forth. So you have to send a helicopter all the way back and then it has to come all the way back to base, right? He's got to make judgment calls in the midst of this to gain as many points weighted as he possibly can. It's 2 minutes of gameplay, 50 seconds remaining. He's sending as furiously as he can. This is like the first time he's played it. all the helicopters out to these spaces. They sit there, they're busy, they take care of the task. Some tasks take a long time, but they give you a lot of points. Some tasks take very little time. They give you hardly any points. 28 seconds remaining. One of the things that you'll notice is the styling of the buildings. So the 3D artist came up with a pipeline that identified 5 to 8 building style types. And they said, if we're going to target this game to see if someone wanted to join the National Guard in Miami, Florida, let's figure out some buildings that would be in their neighborhood. Let's figure out some roadways that would be in their neighborhood. And they created those and crafted those quickly. The idea here is that when the gameplay ends, he's going to have an AAR and some analytics. So you'll notice he was able to do 7 fuel supply transports. That's fantastic. And because those are very weighty, he got 35 points. But he got even more emergency landing pads, 11. That's 110 points. And because of those, he was able to, because those steps don't become available until those 2 happen, take on 4 and 2 of those sorties, evacs and personnel. Those are the points that he got from this. So here's the thing you may notice. It says, no, seriously, you're the top player in Miami, Florida, 265 points. You are pro rank, because no one has played this game in Miami, Florida, except him so far. The idea is that as you target people and geofence and send out social media requests to rapidly produce games for southern Miami, for this side of Orlando, right? You can then target and rapidly create games to get that recruitment in there. So you can say, oh, that's my neighborhood. What if a hurricane came through there? I would want to be able to logically help out. Maybe the National Guard is an opportunity for that. If you become a high score player, you get a high score t-shirt. Now, the National Guard isn't producing these t-shirts, but you've gained the most ground as far as Miami, Florida is concerned. And it says it on your t-shirt right here on the shoulder. So there's an opportunity here for you to take a piece of the game out into the real world with you and maybe even talk to a recruiter wearing it. Right on. So you'll notice if he clicks this, it'll exit out. It'll open up the National Guard website for you automatically, and it can kind of get you started on your journey for recruitment. Thank you all so much.
Whose face is on the billboard? Do what? Ron Steve's face is on the billboard. So one of us are deputy to you. Why you ask too much? Great job, guys. Thank you.
All right. Next up is going to be a Soldier, the VR experience. MCU will not be presenting. Sorry about that. But so next up, Be a Soldier. And a reminder, what happens if you, it isn't real unless it's hashtag, right? That was under the Friday nights thing. So make sure you hashtag. Hashtag Armed Forces Game Jam. Thank you. Do it early, do it often. Armed Forces, that's what I said. Armed Forces Jam, didn't it? All right. Are we ready?
should have power. Is there power up here? Oh, over here. Hold on, I can. There you go.
Hello guys, my name is Edson Jr. My team is called Be a Soldier and my game is Be a Soldier. And this is our VR experience. And we are using the tool, it's called Space VR from Microsoft, that it's a metaverse from Microsoft. And we use this tool to make our game, our experience. And with Outspace VR, we can explore some features like avatar systems, objects interactions, voice chat, streaming, animated 3D objects, and metaverse move device, because you can use Outspace VR on PC and Oculus Quest, Meta Quest 2. And we choose the challenge, the military recruitment, gamify, and we use educational videos, interactive simulations in the warehousing environment. And in this environment, we put some learning objects like watch videos, walk around on the warehouse and see, like to interact with some weapons, guns. And the main goal of the experience is guide recruit during the tour, where they will watch some videos learn about armed forces branches, walk around in the warehouse and see some 3D animated soldiers, interact with guns, learn about 3D vehicles in the scene, and see a miniature for a military base. So we have 6 videos, each video about a branch, Army, Navy. So these avatars are online, these are real people. And in this room, you can have like 50 people. And if you're more people, you can create more rooms. Now they are exploring the environment, see a soldier, a 3D soldier that has an idle animation. This is a gun, the guns, so they can grab the guns and see. It's not shooting, just to manipulate. Now we have some vehicles, like helicopter, F-16, tanks. And we have some information about each vehicle that they can read and learn about this. In this environment, you can do live streamings, you can make games, custom games, more complex games in the environment using the language Node.js and using the MRI, that is the mixed reality extension from Microsoft. Now they have a military base. It's like a miniature. All the assets comes from the unit as a store, and the avatars it's in the system, so the wearables we customize in the system, the Space VR. It's a very good environment to teach, to make presentations, meetings, events, shows. Now it's time to picture. And why not take a selfie? It's me. And it's my team. 2 guys in Brazil and 4 guys here in the United States. Christopher is a soldier for the army. That's it. If you want to play my game, in each I/O we have a PDF. This PDF is the instructions, so you have to download all Space VR on PC and log in with your Microsoft account and put the code that's there. And you can access the environment. It's online, it's open. It's the same instructions for the Miracle too. My team again. Thank you.
Okay, next up, Space Tycoon. Space Tycoon. Space Tycoon. You're not presenting. Okay. Fair enough. Mind your step. Excellent job.
Give him a round.
Round of applause.
Where'd you go, Josh?
Remember what?
Yeah.
It's eating.
You had one challenge. All right, so good afternoon, everybody. How everybody feeling? All right. Good, all right. We are the J Squad. My name is Juan. This is
I'm Julia.
Joseph.
Josh.
And yes, all of us start with a J, so that's why we're the J Squad. So if you want to join our team, you have to have a J in your name, or if not, we will give you one. We'll give you the name. All right. So Josh actually speaks a lot better than I do. So I'm gonna let him present it, and I will load that video.
Hi, good evening. Well, one lies, I don't speak better than him. But anyway, so the name of our game is Mind Your Step, and the concept comes from the analog training that they use in the Army for HSTAMIDs, which is handheld standoff mine detection system. And they are mine detectors that they use, and so we decided to put it into the metaverse and create a VR counterpart. So, yeah, go ahead. So the idea is, obviously, you're learning about how to mine sweep, and you're checking for landmines in the area. So the way it works is, in your right hand, you'll have your mine detector, and you're sweeping the ground. It uses, the HSTAMIDs use electromagnetic interference and ground penetrating radar. So what that means is, very much like the real thing, you can't just sweep it up here. You have to be very close to the ground, and you have to keep it level, because if you tilt the mine detector, the radar won't work as properly, and you could get a false reading. So you have to be very careful as you're using the pan head to sweep the ground. As you get closer to mine, you'll start hearing an audible beep. And as you get closer and closer, the beeping gets louder, okay? Indicating that you're very close to mine, watch out. At that point, you'll use your left hand, reach into your bandolier, pull out a flag, as you can see, and mark it. The object of the game is to mark all 3 mines on your side of the city and cross to the safe zone where your time and your accuracy is measured for training purposes. So as the video goes on, you'll see that each mine is rated as accuracy on how close you place the flag to the center of that mine, how long it took you, and if there are any penalties. So what happens is, if you die, you have to start over. And all the mines are, as you just saw, one just blew up in this top left corner. Watch that one, he blows up a lot. So when you die, you start over, you get all 3 flag markers back, and the mines regenerate in a different spot, so you don't memorize it. And it's constantly regenerating the mines as you die. Once you cross the finish line again, you see your after-action review, which shows you your score. And at that point, you can use it as a training basis. Hey, speed is better. Your speed was better, but your accuracy off, and vice versa. Some of the challenges that we had for this that we used was military recruiting, as this is a very specialized job description. We also created a digital twin. This is a very small portion of, that wasn't him cussing, that was the mind roll. We used a very small portion of an Iraq city called Rupa. I may be mispronouncing that, I apologize. But the way I created the city was that all the pieces are modular, so that way if you need to go and find a different portion of the town to practice at, or a different country or whatnot, you can easily modify this based upon a aerial view from Google Maps or something like that. All the assets are original. We made them all this in this 48 hours. And I probably talked way too much, and I will hand it off to the programmers and let them tell you about all the challenges.
Yep, so we did do multiplayer VR, and we used Photon for that. With networking, there's always issues, so there was the classic, I see it, you don't. So that was definitely a challenge.
We also use the XR Interaction Toolkit, which comes pre-packaged with a lot of neat interactions that you can add to the game, like XR Ray Interactor, very easy programmable, grabbable objects. So yeah, and you can see up here, this should be titled, these 2 screens right here, what you should do in the game and what you should not do. One of the biggest challenges in the game was to actually find the mines. So
Although that's the concept, right? So with that, a lot of people are like, there's no mines in here, I can't find them. So we actually built in for the instructor to press a hotkey, and it shows the student the mines. So that way, like, listen, I promise you the game's not broken. They are there, you're just not looking hard enough. One of the other things that we, so Joseph worked on the GUI for the action after review. There is a timer too on the mine detector, and think that's about it. We're gonna scrub a little bit. So as you can see, can you pause it real fast? So as you can see, so Julia had much better accuracy. So it does detect it based upon each time. Great. Total time in seconds. She had no deaths, unlike one, sorry. So her final score was 72. And again, that's a metric that you can use to show progress between students.
Yeah, I didn't do that one.
0.
Thank you. That's my new step.
All right, following this difficult to decode scheme, next up is disarm.
Over here.
Come on down. All right, reminder to everybody. If it's not on social, it didn't happen. This is what my daughters tell me all the time. It's not on social. It didn't happen. Spoken to a guy who doesn't have a Facebook account. Most of my wife's shivering. Are we ready? 1 second. The nerve of you.
Hello, we are Team Disarmed, here to show you Disarm, our new real-time strategy game, here to showcase a active shooter situation where you command a series of drones that we're going to appear and try to solve a bunch of different hostiles and hazards that are going to be throughout a small map. With that being said, I also have, I'm Kevin, here's my colleague Will, and here's Josh, who's going to be playtesting for us. That being said, I'm going to go right into it. So this is an experience that takes place fully in VR, and is a little bit zoomed in. But here you can see that in VR you showcase a battle map. Inside there's going to be a bunch of civilians that are basically in distress. They're being antagonized by these hostiles. With a little bit of this UI on our left hand, we're able to spawn in different drones. And we can spawn in an attack drone, which we can use to neutralize these hostiles, as well as an engineer and a triage drone. First of all, we can probably use our attack drone to try to save the civilian. Unfortunately, we're a little slow, seeing that we know in these situations that speed is definitely always a necessary thing to take into account. You have to make sure that when seconds are fleeting, you make the right decisions, but as we approach, we can hopefully get rid of that hostile. That being said, we have to do more than just, get rid of all the danger. We have to make sure we get people out of here. Why don't we go ahead and get one of these triage and engineer drones out here and start addressing the other problems. So this yellow engineer drone here can go ahead and solve some of these flames. And also there's a couple bombs, other hazards throughout that they can solve. We also have the medics, which can go to these civilians, and upon getting near them, we can go ahead and direct them back to the safe zone. As the game goes on, the hazards are constantly ticking the time against you. So if you're not able to basically deal with all the threats and hostiles, your time will drastically be reduced. The goal is to try to handle as much as you can with the situation, get as many civilians as you can out, and do your best to manage. That being said, we do have our sort of creative director here, Will. If you want to talk more about kind of the influences that came into this game.
Yeah, sure. So again, I'm William. So what we have here is, again, we were shooting for the RTS challenge, and we figured the best way to translate that into something a little more practical was to put the player in the role of what we're calling the commander to oversee this active shooter situation. And we know in those situations time is of the essence. So as Kevin was saying with the hazards, those are actually taking down your time faster during each game round. So each one of those that you neutralize will lessen the speed at which your time decays. And when that ends, there will actually be a little scoreboard that pops up on the wall that will show your stats at the end of the round. And going into this, we know that people have limited resources in these situations, so we want to put the player in that same position using only limited number of units and having to work fast. And you can see here, we took a few cities, we didn't lose anyone of our own guys. Didn't really take out any enemies, unfortunately, but maybe we can try that again if you want to use the other board, Josh. Yeah, there we go. So as he goes through that again, you'll see drones there, and they take some time to get dropped in once again. As you only can have so many people at one time, or so many drones operating at one time, until we'll eventually get more, and we'll showcase that later. But yeah. Is there anything else you want to cover, Kevin?
Yeah, we tried to make a system that we could adapt to many maps moving forward in different environments. We only have the 3 types of drones now, but with more hazards and more different developments in the future, we definitely look at expanding this to add more and more different situations for people to try to experience and try to use for active shooter situations. That being said, thank you very much, and thank you to Armed Forces Jam. Thank you.
Do I need to remind you? All right, next up, base crash.
That's your color.
Or ABI.
Be shattered.
We got pumping giant monitors around. Giant screen. Every game is one screen because we can't do it. Program running supercomputers. All right, hello. We are the base crash team. We are the ones who create base crash. The game itself is about base management. You are more or less placed in charge of the defense budget for a base. What? No. What? Oh, okay. So it's a buttons to make it work. Okay. Sorry, just want to make sure. So you'll have your budget all the way over there, and with it you are expected to buy a number of things: personnel, walls, sensors. You also have things that the base is made up of. You're allowed to place them wherever you want, but you must have a set number of these things. These are presumably things that were built outside of your money pool. So the amount of housing, whether or not there's a commissary is not really your purview, but we do allow you to place them wherever you so desire. So you will essentially place things around the base in whatever formation you want, as well as place your personnel. The personnel will give you vision. And they will go again. And everywhere that your personnel cannot see, there is a fog of war, such as inside of these buildings. Place one inside a building. There we go.
No, that's cool.
So once the scenario begins, a civilian population will spawn within the base. They will meander about, going about their day. Some of them will essentially just go over to where it is they want. In a randomized time between 30 seconds and a minute and a half, someone on the base will become an active shooter. It can be the civilians, it can also be one of the personnel you just hired. It's all absolutely random. When that happens, you might hear some gunshots, and it's more or less up to you to figure out what you're going to do to protect your base. So, at this point, we're just waiting for the storm to arrive, I suppose. Oh, well, shooter got one person. Civilians killed one, but you are. Okay. Normally, the shooter would go about killing as many people as possible. Fortunately for us, though, the shooter was immediately dispatched. However, giving them a bit more time, we can just recruit only 2 guards, put them in some places where someone might be, and then just let them go about. I'll say that all of our art assets were made during the jam by our two fantastic graphic artists. So as you can see, we have a fog of war. Putting a guy in a building might protect all the people in that building, but then you have no idea what's happening outside. As you round corners of buildings, you'll be able to see around said walls. And sometimes characters will just get stuck on each other. Oh. Alright, so that active shooting took 83 seconds to deal with. In that time, 7 civilians and 1 soldier were killed. And your score is more or less based off of those metrics. Alright, that's Base Crash.
Okay, next up, Shell. And that's not short for Michelle.
You're welcome.
The game doesn't load I'll put the video. Alright, the game's not working here, so I'm going to pull up the video. Alright, this game's called Shell, and we're Team Shell, very original. So this game was made in Eclipse Fusion 2.5, and it's basically Blast War in 2D, but you only play as a tank. Basically, the goal of the game is basically you need to destroy these buildings. This is a runaway nuke, and it hits, it explodes, and basically causes a nuclear catastrophe. So you gotta destroy each individual building by using your tank. It takes 3 shells to destroy these small buildings, and then 6 shells to destroy the medium buildings later on. So yeah, once you clear this, you'll be able to go on and go on to the next level. So.
Yeah, so when he dropped that bombshell on us that we were using a purely 2D game engine, which apparently is also the one that games like Five Nights at Freddy's are built in, pretty much dawned on me that if we wanted to have some form of fidelity in our artwork, we had to basically go Donkey Kong Country / Silicon graphic style and model in 3D, render it, and then take those still images and do what you see here. I don't think he rotates in the right direction. It is a little tough to see. But I did put the Armed Forces Jam logo on the tank. And for anybody who's interested in little details, I based the tank off of a Japanese Type 90, and the nuke truck is basically a number 6 MTVR with a similar nuke apparatus attached to it that was in the original, what was it called again?
Blastport.
Yeah, the original Blastport was red and it had a nuke thing on it, so I just was paying homage to the game. Sort of was a favorite of him, but you know. Oh, and also, consequently, the backgrounds were also rendered. They were a flat plane, Substance Painter Magic. I rendered that too. About 3 or 4 different backgrounds.
And that's it. Thank you. I used
Next up, Metagrow.
All his.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we're going to grab the monitor. We're going to get the monitor.
What? I can give it to you.
Thank you.
Ooh, awesome. All right, so while they're setting this up, I'm going to go ahead and give an overview of our game to help in the interest of time. So our project is called Metagrove, and we took the digital twin slash, well, there's like 5 different categories, but we took the metaverse style and digital twin style and all these other categories and tried to hodgepodge them into a nice little product. So we were lucky enough to get the digital twin of this space from Caroline. Thank you so much. We implemented it into our application through a networking stack on top of it. We have VBox for voice communication. We have Ready Player Me integrated for custom character development or design, whatever you want to call it. Let's see what else. It's using a bunch of different frameworks all communicating together, and hopefully we can get this set up quickly enough where we can show it to you.
Yeah, no, sorry. All right, here, you want to take this and talk a little bit about the
Yeah, that's what he was asking.
Where's the backpack? And the hardware.
I have that.
Sorry, folks, it'll just be a minute.
Script right here. And your script is right.
Very good. All set? What's up? Oh.
You can make whatever. You guys need HDMI, right?
Yes.
Right here.
Yeah, I'll grab that.
I would also say
I'm not going. No, someone has done like called me and has like I want to do it, but you know, I don't want to hear anyone like
Please don't judge me.
so
The trash bag, not the
right? That's at the top. The middle photo. And then the you know what I mean? Right. So you can this one. Right? Insert funny image, cringy image, etc.
What's wrong with the photos?
I just need to move it over here. Just need to put it back over
Really
here.
funny, but like
Oh, okay, okay.
it's not for children on the internet without their parents.
Yeah, but you might take like your because yeah, it's like not my mom, it's the other hand. I know.
Getting out into it. Yeah. Hello, hello. Can everyone hear me? Yes. Sorry, I'm not very good with microphones. I am now going to use the microphone. Upon better consideration of my options. All right, so hello everyone. We are the Meta Grove. We put together a digital twin of the Orlando Tech Grove here, and we are basically displaying virtual twin capabilities as well as basically putting together a proof of concept for virtual tours, bringing people together, bringing people to the space, maybe not necessarily in person, but a way to showcase the different capabilities of this facility. Different mechanics that we showcase here. We put together a networked environment. It's entirely in VR. You can create your own avatars, working on the voice chat. You can interact with the different features. We kind of basically put together different areas of interest around the Tech Grove. You know, you're going to see those desks, you're going to see the lounge area, you're going to see the chairs, you're going to see the stage, and you're going to be able to walk up in a multiplayer environment, interact with these, and learn a bit more about what each of these things do and provide for you from the standpoint that, hey, you've never been to the Tech Grove, you haven't gone to really cool Armed Forces Jam events here. How do you learn about this place? How do you learn about what it does? And how do you learn about what it can do for you in the future? So that is what our presentation and our application is about. And I would love to actually show it. It's like one of those things that we definitely want to see. And just, you know, thank you for taking the time with us and bearing with us as we go through what's got to be the longest awkward pause as we set up an entire rig up here. It's laptops just weren't good enough for this application.
No, so we do have builds in the equal case. You're going to see Colby and Josh is actually going to jump in and join us in this metagrove. For the sake of being able to...
Thank you. Ooh, nice mic stand. So we do have APKs built for the headsets over here for ease of use so that we can show it to you all. We're going to just go ahead and do it in editor so I can show what they're actually seeing up here. That was it, actually.
Just a reminder, Josh, Kobe, if you need a mic, just let me know. I'll be right there. Don't worry, we're just initializing the ACID database right now, so just hold on to that.
Any challenges?
Ooh, I know a few. Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Sorry, it's not about a few jokes. There are definitely a few challenges as well. With the short time frame and the amount of mechanics and the amount of third-party technology that we're trying to cram in here in a 48-hour period, I have slept very little. It's a matter of getting the different pieces to fit together and work and provide the capabilities in the way that I want to showcase to you guys. And to be honest, if we show this and it doesn't showcase to you in the way that I want it showcased to you, I'll be pretty upset with myself. So hopefully this goes well.
So the challenge categories, which I think is what they were referring to.
So I also have some things going on in my personal life.
Same. All right. So the challenge categories that we addressed. So obviously the Tech Grove has the digital twin and wanted to address the metaverse as their problem statement, which we thank you first of all, Caroline, everyone, Chris, everybody at the Central Florida Tech Grove. Please, round of applause for everybody that's helped put this together. Those are initiatives. We really want to kind of get back to all the hard work that they've been helping us with making this event happen. So we wanted to tackle that category regardless. We were a little scared by the Momentum Challenge, but after looking at it, you know, the idea of taking digital twins, taking physical locations, putting them into a digital space is obviously very beneficial for everybody. Trying to create, wow, okay. So trying to create this application in a way that allows other people who maybe don't have the advantage to be able to come into this kind of facility, see all the amazing capabilities that we have here, all the amazing people that we have here. So being able to take this kind of concept and put it into a digital metaverse was really important to us. We looked over the Modeling and Simulation 101 challenge. Has anybody else looked at this challenge? So we weren't entirely certain what to do with it. So we put the slideshow into the project. So you can look at it in VR.
Sorry, I wanted to just relive a famous conversation. It went along the lines of, hey, do we have a backup video just in case? And the response was, nah, we'll be fine. So I think what we should do here is maybe...
We do have a backup video, I think.
But should we want to just bring somebody up here while this is handling, because I would like to not hold up your time. Thank you. Who's up? Sorry.
Get left hand, flash right there. Flash right there. This one.
Hi everyone, I'm Jordan, and I'm representing Team Pilot Training Next. So if you don't know, there are 4 simulators over there on that side of the room that are Pilot Training Next simulators that are here from the Air Force, and SAIC is the company that put those together. So if you just think about like a traditional flight simulator compared to what you can do with virtual reality, so typically flight simulators are very expensive, and which means they're also very inaccessible. And the Air Force had a problem where they needed to train a lot of pilots quickly, and so that meant getting more accessible, low-cost systems out there, and that was the idea behind Pilot Training Next, which is a real thing. Pilot Training Next is not a real thing. But they did use Unity for PTN. Unity's a great engine. You see it's being used by most of the teams here. And there's some information online about how the PTN systems actually did lead to, for initial pilot training, a significant decrease in the amount of training required because the pilots had time to get familiar with the T6 aircraft before they got into a real one. There are a couple problem statements that we were trying to address this weekend. The first one was from the Air Force, where they wanted to connect these different PTN systems together. Right now, you can fly the aircraft, but you're just kind of by yourself. And they want to get to a point where you can maybe fly with a buddy and then fly against a couple opposing forces as well. So that's what I was looking at. And there's a second one, which is how can you take some electronic warfare concepts and bring that into your virtual world as well. So took pieces from both of those problem sets. What I did for most of this weekend, if you do any pure networking, I'm not an expert in this, but I spent a lot of time pinging and working with Wireshark and different settings for network sharing. Bottom line is those systems do not yet talk to each other the way I want. I did get a couple things working. They have these nice Thrustmaster controllers over there, which I haven't used before, and I was really worried about, like, hey, I'm going to need some special SDK to get these working. But actually, no, Unity made that really easy, and it just worked out of the box. So then I was like, okay, well, I need a multiplayer game that I can put on those systems. So here's an example from Unity where you can fly these aircraft around. We have 3 instances running. 2 clients talking to a server, and they're all connected through something called, I think, netcode. So I was going to bring that into the demo, but this is what the demo is currently. I'm going to spare you. I'm not going to try to run it up here. If you want to run it, you can come to the side and experience how awesome this demo is. But if you fly an aircraft around, and one day it might be a multiplayer game, but not yet, and you'll probably be shot by some EW spheres or something like that. Okay. So that's Team Pilot Training Next. Thank you very much.
Try it again?
See if it's done.
No, no.
It's your mom. Yeah, it's your mom. I learned my lesson.
There you go. No more truth.
I might be able to find it.
How was it?
Like out here with clean stand-up comedy, it's classic stand-up comedy, so we can.
How many developers does it take to
Plug in a computer. Oh, sorry, that example was Unity developers for us, not your folk. Nothing but highest respects to the Unity team. Are you showing us? Good.
Anybody want to try to stand up comedy right now? Open mics? No? Okay.
Can we get a little bit of volume?
In the headset or in the presentation?
No, for the presentation sound.
Oh, okay.
I was wondering why there was no music in this on, because I made music here.
Weird.
Chad, does it sound on?
No, he's just in a conversation. Sorry, we're trying to see if we can't get sound. I mean, made you guys wait so long, we might as well try and go for the whole experience here.
Oh, that's not my computer.
All right. Well, we'll just have to go without it.
All right, so let's go ahead and go forward. So this is the meta growth. So the first thing it's going to do is going to bring you into an environment where you can create your character. So, thank you. So welcome to Central Florida Tech Grove's meta grove. Use left joystick to move around, right joystick to rotate. The grip button gives us these fun little lasers. And we can go ahead and close this window to create an avatar. So we have Ready Player Me integrated here. So if I wanted to, we can go ahead and customize some features on this avatar. It doesn't really matter what. Let's go ahead and grab is that racing? Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and hit next here. And if it takes too long to load, we'll go ahead and move forward just to keep you all so you don't have to wait anymore. But we do have offline avatars, so in the event that Ready Player Me isn't working or the networking is just being not friendly, you can select an avatar. So currently I'm loading my avatar, and you can see that everything is procedurally set up dynamically, so it doesn't matter what outfit you have, whether it's a feminine or masculine character, it all gets set up in VRAK. So I can go over here and look at this fun little mirror to show that I am currently set up. So now that we have our avatar, I'm going to go ahead and go into Tech Grove. Josh and Colby, if you haven't already, go ahead and make your character and go into the Tech Grove.
There's music.
I can hear music a little bit. Look at that. Right here.
Unless, of course, we crash. Please don't leave crash.
Yay! There we go. Alright, so if you're familiar with this building, which I hope you are here. This is the front entrance of the Tech Grove. So right here I have a welcome to the Tech Grove. So to find out more information about the Tech Grove, as I mentioned earlier, people may not have the opportunity to come to the Tech Grove and learn about it. There are elements in the scene that you can laser over to turn on in the environment. It kind of gives you a little bit of information about what it's for. There's also a web browser on the right side. We can mess with that later. And if you want to leave a message for other people who are in here, we can go over to the whiteboards and write a nice little message. So I'm going to hit close. Hello? Is that you, Josh? Yeah. You can kind of hear Josh coming through my headset because we have beatbox set up so that players can communicate with each other. Go ahead and show me what this little social area is about.
Well, social area is about friends together. Having social networks where you can see our shares.
I'm going to get very Josh. Sorry. So, yes, as Josh was saying, now it's the microphone, bringing Team Orlando together. So, each little chunk of elements in this space will kind of give you an overview of what they're for. I actually worked with Chris earlier today to sit down and go over, all right, what is it that we wanted to tell people about the tech growth so they can get a good picture of all the capabilities and why this space is important. So we can go over here, and if we wanted to learn a little bit more about the tech growth, we can actually click this little intro to tech growth video. So this will pull up a video that Caroline sent me over earlier, where she goes over the tech growth and kind of discuss what are the capabilities of it. So, and we have John Colby, where are you? Colby somewhere in here. So, look at the stage. Alright, so. Look at the stage. Alright, Colby's over there by the stage, I guess. So, we didn't necessarily know what we wanted to do with the MS 101 course, so we went ahead and threw it in here as a nice little PowerPoint presentation that we can share and socialize over. As well, if we wanted to just go ahead and look up some videos, Josh, why don't you go ahead and browse for some cat footage or something, we'll come back to that. So if I want to find out about the event space, we have a bunch of chairs here, what is it for? So we have the 6,400 square foot facility here, when we can have up to 150 guests for data collection and interaction. And this is a photo you might have saw me walking around and snapped at the Armed Forces Jam. Okay, someone's turning it off. We also have this giant display here, which is called the Media Wall. As you can see, it's a fantastic resource for the tech growth to be able to use. And let's go ahead and write a nice little message for, let's say Colby. Colby, what do you want to say, Colby? Let's say, I can close for dishonest contact. So, Colby, I'm not writing all that out, come on now. We'll be here all night. Colby, come. New computer coming to you. And apparently ghost markers. So, other than that, this is a very good collaborative product to be able to bring people in. So we have photos of kittens. So the idea is to create this collaborative environment where we can all kind of come together, or even if someone wanted to connect separately, just give themselves a tour. They can kind of walk through the building and learn a little bit about it. We have these documents that were given to us by Carol earlier, so we're able to kind of put these into the space and kind of give a little bit more insight to all the different departments and the different players in Team Orlando. Adrian, anything else you want to say about that?
Yeah. So as Austin went through, that's pretty much the mainstream in terms of the features that we put together and the reasons why we did it. There are a few other things that we try to reach for. The idea of integrating the Orlando Tech Growth simulators, being able to go up to different simulation spaces or simulator pods and maybe sideload into separate instances where you could participate in maybe that RTS minigame or participate in one of any of the other VR applications that were present. There's something going on. Okay. So this is just the foundation of where we can go in the future, and with more time, we could definitely bring even more capabilities and showcase more of the Tech Growth's capabilities through this metaverse. And I think that's it. Sorry for the wait. Thank you.
All right, here's where all the secret sauce gets made. We need 10 minutes to compile the results. Our judges have been working frantically. So let's have a 10-minute break. Everybody talk among themselves. We'll be back here with the results in 10 minutes. let's make our way. So as we get started here, I'm going to go off script for a couple minutes before we go into this. And you guys are going, oh God, he's going off script. This is going to be
Just because we're ahead of schedule.
No, I know. I'm going to go on script. So I got a question. How many here are on active military duty? Raise your hands. How many have served previous? How many were in service during 9/11? Right? Didn't see it. So there's a significance of today about that we're all here, and I just want to tee this up. I lived in Boston and worked for IBM during 9/11. My group at IBM had a project in the World Trade Center, and miraculously everybody got out. I had a good friend who was advertising manager for TJ Maxx. TJ Maxx is headquartered in the Boston area. She had 7 people that worked for her on the plane. She went to 7 funerals, right? And then the thing and I'll move on to this. You know, my son was just a toddler at the time, and the Tuesday of the 9/11 was such a beautiful day in the Boston area. It's like the 5 days a year you live for living in New England, right? And I was out riding with my son in his little limo seat on the back of the bicycle, and you'd stop and talk to your neighbors, and everybody talked about, you know, has anybody in there, or, you know, have you found anybody? We were on the phone all day about our group at IBM. And the thing that struck me about the evening was it was such a beautiful evening, and there was no air traffic anywhere. And if you live in the Boston area, there's air traffic everywhere. There's international flights at 8 o'clock at night. They stream. And the point to those 3 things is my sense, and I'm sure a lot of others, sense of peace was broken, right? You know, it wasn't the same ever again after that. And to think that you guys are sitting here helping the warfighters on the 21st anniversary of this, that significance isn't lost on me. I really appreciate this. So in closing, I just want to talk a quick story about my dad. My dad served in World War II. He served in Europe. He was at Anzio. He never talked, you know, like stereotypical, he never talked about being in World War II. Never, ever. One day I was sitting on my porch trying to get him to talk about what it was like to land at Anzio. And he's reading the paper, 3 days behind a bush. And that was it. He'd talk the occasional war stories of meeting up with buddies of his that he grew up with in Europe, but never ever talked about it. But the one thing that he did instill in my brother and I is a sense of gratitude and appreciation for the people who did serve. I've never served. My cousins both were Marines. My dad served in the Army. So I want to close out this with 2 thank yous. Thank you to all the teams who spent today on a significant day helping the warfighter, right? What you've done today is some movement forward in making sure that they're safe and that they come back. And most importantly, I want to thank all you guys who served or are serving. You know, your sacrifices that you make, it's huge. And you know, Diana will know that I do a lot of, and Captain will know that I do a lot of things around ASIG and the time of year, and I feel honored to be able to do it. And I'm really thankful that you guys spent your weekend to do this. And that's my 5 minutes. Thank you, everybody. Let's get this party started. All right, John, our first wave of thanks.
Yes.
All right, everyone. Those of you who don't know me, I'm John Cunningham. I lead our Unity Government Aerospace business here for North America. First of all, I thank you very much for that. Thank you for all the folks that have served and who are contributing to the cause. I'd also like to thank a few folks here for supporting this event. First of all, where's Karis and the Unity A team? Raise your hand. How about it? Give it up the weekend. Yeah, we really appreciate it. We've been investing in Orlando, in the community. We're up to like 50 people now. We're going to continue to grow. We believe that modeling and simulation is one of the core technologies that's going to be used to build the metaverse, right? If you read the book, The Metaverse, and all the books that have been coming out, I think Matthew Ball mentioned Unity 52 times in the book as the underlying technology. And the other guy, there's two primary game engines that will be used to build the metaverse. So what you guys don't realize is that we're at this important point where real-time 3D technology is going to be the next generation of technology that powers Web 3D, right? We in the simulation industry know that. A lot of folks outside don't. So what you're doing here this weekend is really important because you're taking, you're showcasing how off-the-shelf technology can be used to create new capabilities for the military. Okay, so thank you for contributing. Thank you to all the teams that chose to use Unity. Very proud to sit here and see all the stuff that you guys are doing. I'd also like to thank Carol Ann and the TechRow staff. Let's give them a big round of applause. Second year that we're doing this. It's not easy to pull these things together. And of course, Kunal, Chad, Steve, thank you guys so much for IndieNomicon. Great job. So that's really all I wanted to say was, that it's exciting to be here at the second annual Armed Forces Jam. Hopefully we can grow this event, make it bigger, and reach out and support more different challenges. And that's all I've got. Actually, I do have one other thing. For those of us that were in the military, I remember in 911, I was stationed in Singapore, and I was sitting in Brewworks on Clark Key watching a soccer game. And it was 9:00 p.m. at night, and all of a sudden the soccer game went off. Of course, all the Brits and Aussies in the pub were complaining and screaming, you turn off soccer, that's terrible. And then we saw the news. I thought it was a joke, right? I was like, this isn't real, this isn't happening, someone's playing a prank. And I'm sure everybody that was alive in 911 remembers the moment of where they were, right? It's something you never forget. I remember in my mind saying, the world has just changed forever. And it did. So today's a very, very special day to be doing this stuff. All right? Anyway, with that, I'll turn it back over.
Okay. All right. Woo. John, thank you so much. All right. Chef Brian, feeding everyone. Yes. Feeding them quite well. Yes. I enjoyed coming here this afternoon. This was a taste treat. Come on up.
I want to thank the Academy for having me here, and my mom. No, you guys had a great time. Everybody enjoyed the food? We tried to do our best to accommodate the special needs for everybody who had them here today, so we did our best to do that at the last minute. And while you guys had your own contest, we had ours in the kitchen too, so everything that could go wrong went wrong, but we made sure it happened. And I know you guys get an award for this, but to me and Javier back there, which we could have done without him, and the other teams that were here helping us, to me, our biggest award is you guys having a good time and being able to enjoy the food. And if you guys are smiling and happy, then to us, we won our contest, so thank you.
Thank you, Chef Brian. Captain Cavelli, what would this place be without Mount TST? So here.
Thanks, Eric. This place is really turned out to be everything we thought it would be. Hosting events like this is why we stood this place up. And I just want to thank everybody. I know we had all of 80 plus participants, 11 teams, 11 games, 11 hard problems. We had the judges, who gave up their weekend as well. All the volunteers, whether it be for food or to make sure this is promoted properly and we have pictures to remember the event and video. I just want to thank everyone for all you do. It's important work, and just did this in 48 hours. Just think about that, how quickly you did that. Speed is of the essence, okay? John said the world changed forever, and now we have new adversaries, new peers. They'll call them peers now. China and Russia, there are peers. I'm not making it up, it's not classified. The Chief of Naval Operations say that, the Commandant of the Marine Corps. So we have to be ready, and folks like you, stuff like this is going to allow us to do this. I just want to thank you so much, and I am so looking forward, I know it is, but I can't say, to seeing the winner at ITSE to showcase their game. So thank you so much, everyone. Have a rest of a great night, and thank you once again.
All right. We have padded the prizes this evening. Yes, they've gotten bigger and better. And I gotta get the name on it. Where? Amenta. Thank you. Last minute contribution by them has enabled us to beef up all the prizes. So who is announcing the winner?
For the next slides will be the judges.
All right. Judges, are they up here?
Yeah, they'll come up in the 20.
All right. Judges, come on up. All of you. Let's get it going.
I don't know if the state can handle that.
No, I. Okay.
Stand in front of your picture.
Where's the clicker?
Right here. So you know what I was just thinking, if you add all of those IQs up and divide by 4, you still get to 170, right?
Next slide. Is that about right? Next slide.
All right, guys. So we have some special awards here for best art, best sound effects, and that. So our first one is best social food post. Nick Walton.
With the judges, take a picture. It's called evil planning. This one's the evil.
All right, for best artwork, we had a number of teams that did some really good artwork. So we have 2 honorable mentions that I want to mention. The first one is Cannon Fodder, and also hold for applause. You guys can keep going. Also, Base Crash. You guys both did a real good job with your art. You made our job real hard picking the best art, but for best art, we went with Mind Your Step. Only one?
He's the art.
Oh yeah, you were the owner.
He's a solo J.
But as an artist, I wanted to make sure that all the art teams that did good art got recognized. All right, best sound effects, Cannon Fodder. And finally, best narrative experience, Gaining Ground. All right, and now to our fabulous judges. Who am I going to do?
Quick next.
Okay.
Carolyn.
Yes.
Oh, it was Tech Rope winner. The Tech Rope winner. The Tech Rope winner. So, go ahead and announce it. I am.
Get over here, Austin. Come on. Adrian, you too.
I was so excited that somebody took on this challenge, and when I saw what they came up with, it's already sparked a lot of ideas for the Air Force and some others of us how we can use what they produced based on the digital twin we had. So you will be seeing this at Synapse, hopefully, in our booth, and hopefully at IDSIC will certainly have you there and have it there for folks to experience Tech Rope. So we're very excited and look forward to working with you to continue working on it.
Oh, picture. Sorry.
What happened? That's the first, second, and third.
Where do you go first, second,
All right, so very quickly, thank y'all very much. We all enjoyed participating this weekend. It was awesome weekend of seeing how everybody was able to come together and put together some really good things. It wasn't easy to judge, but there were winners. So let's get right to it. Click. First place, second place, third place. It better go third first.
Of course.
Spacecraft. Come on up here.
Photo and video. Video. Just move, dance, and jump.
All right, well done, Base Crash. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Number 2, second place.
Yeah, it was like.
Video. All right, well done, Emory Riddle. Okay, it's time for it, right? First place, second annual Armed Forces Jam. Drum roll. All right, global base medal. All right. James Fly, get up here.
Except.
Except for one. The next one.
Okay. Video. Yep. 3, 2, 1. Yeah!
Stay very much.
Good job.
Stay very much, sir. Stay very much, sir. Stay very much, sir.
I want to thank everyone for coming out. Everyone gets a round of applause because you guys are all amazing. There's a lot of hard work, a lot of 3 months, took a lot of planning, a lot of good logistics. A lot of new companies came to the table and really made this event possible. I would sit here for 20 minutes and I know that all you guys have had a long weekend. And so I'm not going to be long-winded. It's the first time I've been able to really hold this fort down myself, and I really want to thank my volunteer staff and the people that extremely helped me make this event possible, because it wouldn't have been possible without them. I want to thank the judges for really offering their support and their time for this weekend and checking out all of these amazing experiences, whether or not that you felt that you crossed the finish line or not, but you guys made goals and tried to make them achievable. And that says a lot. You know, this event is not going away. It is going to get bigger. And next year, it's going to get better. So just make sure you guys are ready. And, now you got to take down the J Squad. So, with that being said, what we're going to be doing is we got a picture that we need to do. We do this at every jam we do. So everyone needs to stand up. And everyone needs to move to the front so Mike and Steven can take pictures. What's up? What? Okay, fine. Everyone grab the chair that you were sitting in and go find Chris. Chris, where you at? Where's the chairs going? See, I told you. The chairs aren't moving. Yes, hold on. Part the C from here we go, right? So part the C. All part the C. There we go. And then we'll put them all back like a big community organization.
All right, guys. One final. A winner. Please see myself, Chad, or Steven before you leave the building. We need to take down some information and fill out some paperwork.
It's really not like a maybe thing. It's like, if you are a winner, you are definitely going to see us before you leave, so we can help you get what you have won.
If you don't fill out the paperwork, we can't give you your money. So please come to us so we can give you your money.
Also, if you are a volunteer, please see me so I can take a group photo of all the volunteers. I want you all to get the recognition you deserve for this wonderful event that you have all put on.
Sweet, now our Red Sea has been parted. Now everyone can make their way up here. Huh? What? Poses? I got poses. Oh.
Let there be.
There should be like 4 people in the audience. And that should be all people with cameras. What? Yeah, don't touch the screen behind you. No booty touching. Okay. Everyone in. Anybody here that's not missing? Bobby, come on. Get up here. Sure.
All right, I hate to tell you, if you are over there, you will not be visible in the photo. So please move in, act like you like each other. We are all friends now. scooch in a bit.
What's up?
Can some of the people on this side please move to that side if you are on, yep, fantastic. And right next to you, basically. Yeah. You can stay. You're good. Everyone else, you've lost privileges of standing right there. Come around, no, sure. Yeah, up to the front. Yeah, up to the front, and then right next to the pink hoodie. Jack. Okay, in a bit, like we like. You're too far that way now. Fantastic. Alrighty, so we have one videographer, 2 photographers. Hats off, please. We do not want to block the people behind us.
You all did a wonderful job. Keep up the good work. This is like a little break for everybody. So.
This is the one with the flash. Big
It's only been 48 business hours.
Okay, my turn.
I will hold the microphone. And if everyone can just let us do a fun one after the video, that'd be great.
I'm going to go way up there, where you probably can't see me, and I'm going to zip up really fast. And I'm going to end right about here. When I come up, we're all going to shout. I'm probably going to do a 3, 2, 1, and then we're going to go, Armed Forces Jam! And you all go crazy. Okay, cool. Good. Lots of you have done this 2, 3 times already. Don't crash open like you did last year.
Don't hit that cable. Eric, will you grab that cable? Because we need a video here on that road.
We let you know when you let it go.
I'll let you reach out.
3, 2, 1! Armed Forces
And then finally, we're going to put on our silly hats. Not our actual hats, though, otherwise we will block the people behind you.
If you can get out here.
Hi, everybody.
Thanks very much. All right, everybody, this is really simple and easy. Just do something wacky and crazy.
Yep.
All right.
If you dab, we might not be able to see your face, just your arm. Giving you that warning.
I'm so
I'm gonna get a silly video!
Wonderful job, everybody. Now, if you are a volunteer, please stay on the stage. Everyone else is good to go because I need to get a group photo of you.
Oh, no, I was going to pick it up. Remember your prizes, people, your prizes. Think about the prizes.
I need all of the winners to go over by the sign, and then everyone else, please help put the tech row back together. Let's unpark the C's. Oh yeah, the volunteers will stay here. What's up? All volunteers, stay on the stage.
Yeah, I took my slides and I took out everything that didn't really make sense. My brief was super short.
Your brief was wonderful, though. Yeah.
So I just changed it. I did all the good stuff that made sense.
Thank you, thank you.
Well, really what I did, instead of
We have 90 minutes.